Hey guys, Rich here at RCINFORMER. Got Steve on the camera. We got Freewing's 8S F-4 Phantom. That's with the wrong canopy, which I just spent quite a while painting and everything. This thing comes really nicely in just all gray, but you do have to put all the decals on. I put this on. I painted the tail blue. For those of you that want to match this color, I think it was, I'll try to put a picture up here if I can. I think it was Rust-Oleum Classic Navy, I think, satin. I'll try to throw the picture up there so you guys can see the exact one. But it went on as a satin finish, and the decals stick much better to a satin finish if you guys want to do, you know, this paint job on it. But the Gray Ghost came out really nice on there. It stuck to it really nice. So if you do a satin tail, which is halfway between gloss and flat, it'll stick a whole lot better. Painted the nose up here. You got the magnetic nose cone, which is all fiberglass. It fits on there real nice. And we're gonna get some batteries in, and I want Steve to get in there and show you guys the battery tray in here. I'm gonna run 2 Admirals. We'll try some 6000s as well. I've got 6000 50C Pros, but I'm gonna run 2 4S 5000 60C packs. And because I'm running 8S, I put the little piece of shelf liner between the two, and that should keep the two together. And then Steve, if you can get down in that battery compartment, I'm going to show you here what I did to my battery tray. It's mostly stock, I would say, but you can see I put a bunch of extra screws, and I'll try to put a picture up here as well somewhere where I can show you what I did. But the holes were actually right here for the straps. They were kind of too close in. Basically, they were set up for a 6-cell pack, so I had to move the straps way out to get an 8-cell to fit in there. And the floorboard that goes into the sidewalls here, I had to kind of excavate or trim out some there so the straps would fit through there. And I'll try to put that picture up so you can kind of get an idea. But that's the only other modification I made to the plane, because as you can see when you put these things in here, can you get all that, Steve? Yep. You can see with 2 8-cell packs, you need a little bit more width. The straps were actually coming up from underneath the battery, so I had to stretch them out. So anyway, you can get a good idea what that looks like and how I put these screws in. I put 2 on each side of this that go into that wood board underneath, and it's really secure now. I also have my satellite receiver right here. This is a Motionrc satellite, which is real nice because it's got a long wire. And I've got my other one over here, and I've got the antennas scattered all the way around. One is right here, and one runs along this wall. I don't know if you can get all that in there, Steve. You got that? There's one right here, and there's one here, and then the other one's here and here. So they're 90 degrees to each other. That helps with so you don't get any signal loss out of it. And then you can see right here, I went ahead and added an extra length of wire here. Actually, right here, it's these 2 wires, which are these two that go back to the BEC, because I didn't want to be yanking the BEC. You can see the BEC secured down in there. I put it way back in there so I don't fool with it. You don't want to be tugging on those wires, because you can pull those right out, and you can actually pull them out of here too. So that's why I secure them always on here, so I'm not yanking on any BEC wire. So anyway, guys, you can see the shelf liner I put down in there just to keep these all from sliding around. So Steve, we're going to get these battery packs in here. We're going to get them all down in there, and we are going to go fly. All right, guys, before we go fly, one thing I wanted to show you I did to mine, and we'll see how this works out. I've been hearing that this rod, by some people, it bends a little bit. I don't know if that's true or not. I went ahead and put actually 2 layers of carbon tube on there that'll keep this thing on here. I also went to the inner hole, because I think the inner hole is going to give us better resolution. I got tons of throw in this thing on the inner hole, and it's going to give the servo actually a lot more strength. But you can see all that carbon rod I got on there. There's actually 2 layers kind of stuck in between, so it's nice and strong. So all right, Steve, that's enough. Let's go fly. All right, guys, we got the plane out here all set up, ready to go. A few things I want to show you guys about it. I did double tube everything. Steve, I don't know if you can get in on here. I double tube both of these, all these links on these Freewing connectors, just so they stay on there. Kind of like we just saw on the tail rod. There's lots of suspension in this thing. You can see plenty of spring in here. This should be a really great grass jet. Let me cycle the gear real quick. Looks like that's working nice. Door will close after it. This thing's got some nice lighting on it. We'll do this without the ordnance. We'll probably do an ordnance flight for everybody later. But I just want to see how it flies clean. Everything's set up pretty much to factory specs. All the throws, the elevator to flat mixing. Let's see if we can put this down. Steve, I don't know if you can get in on the elevator. I'll drop the flaps to 1 setting. You can see the elevator moves. I think it was 3.5 millimeters, I think is what the manual said. And then when you go to full flaps, it's about 5. It just goes like a little bit more. So we'll kind of see how it does going out there. But anyway, you ready, Steve? let's get this thing rolling on out there. Just let it roll. All right, 0 power. We're going green, man. We're saving energy. Just taxiing on out, right, left, up, down. All right, let's, I also added what I've been showing you guys, which almost got me. I added a throttle kill. I do fly on that switch, so I'm putting that on all my radios, so that should kill my throttle. Let me taxi it over here real fast. See how it handles on the ground. Handles real nice. That tail looks good, doesn't it? Yeah. I think I chose the right color. That looks good. Let's do a quick thrust check, Steve. I went ahead and calibrated the throttle before we went. Yeah, that's good to go. All right, here we go. Everybody assume their positions. Little grass hops. There we go, nice and tough. This has some tough landing gear. All right, flaps coming down. All right, I got mine set up 6-channel, normal 6-channel, except I did do 7 with mine, so I have a separate nose wheel steering channel. Take it off! Oh, that track's nice. Landing gear's coming up. Oh wow, it's kind of all over the place. All right, let me get those ailerons out. Oh, it's a little sensitive here, Steve. I might have to dial some of that out. Let me get it. Yeah, it's a little pitch sensitive there, Steve. I think that CG is wrong. I think it's. Hang on, this thing's rolling like crazy on me. Let me get it trimmed. Hang on, because it's very, very sensitive. You might be right about that control throw. I set it up like the manual said. Here, let's see. I got it a little bit better. Well, I did what they said. 190. We went farther forward than that. Here, let's see. I got it tuned in a little better. It's flying a little easier now. But it is. I got it on low rates, for crying out loud. Really low rates. Let's see how it comes by quick. All right, there. I got it tamed a little bit. Yeah, it flies great. It's a little smoother now, but I think we got to move that CG forward. But I use the book throws. It just seems a little sensitive this way. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll get it on the ground and I'll move it forward a bit because it really, see, this is my low rate at 80%. It flies all right. It's flying okay. Here, let's get it. It was just so far out of trim and it was rolling a lot. I went all out of my low rates on everything. Here, let's see. Let's come by quick. But it is pitch sensitive. It moves along though. Holy smokes. I think 190 is wrong. I think it's got to come back a lot. Holy smokes. I'm thinking like 180, 170, maybe even 160. Because it's very, very pitch sensitive. So, but it's flying good. Let's try some flaps. One setting of flaps in there. Another setting. It's a little shaky there. I think that CG's got to change, Steve. You know what I mean? I think we need to come to like, I'm thinking like 170 now. The last Phantom videos that I did of, I don't remember what brand, I think it was LX or something. It really needed the CG forward. It was like 160, so maybe this is the same. All right, let's get the gear down. Let's do an approach to land here. Oops.
I think you gotta take it up and do it inverted and see what the nose does.
No, I can't even freaking see what it's doing right now. I got full flaps in there. Let's see. Tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to go with one setting of flaps. Let's bring it in and land it. Because it's very squirrely with that CG the way it is. That's better. That's a lot of flap in there. Holy smokes. All right, I got the power out. All right, that was a lot hairier of a flight than I thought. I think that CG is way, 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 way off, because it was just pitching, and I had to go to 70% low rate on the aileron, and I had to go back to my low elevator rate. It's very squirrely, but it's definitely a CG problem. And what did we have? Like probably 185, 180 on the CG. It was really, really squirrely. So we're going to mess around with that and see if we can get, when you got an unstable airplane, it's a challenge to fly. So we'll get in there and take a look at all the settings and see if we can get that CG straightened out. I think we got to come forward. We were balancing it where it said, the book said I think it was 190, and we went and balanced it right here, which is about 190. A little farther forward on that, and it still was squirrely. I think it's a CG issue. I think it needs to go forward, probably 170, 160 or something like that. So we'll try that out. Anyway, guys, that was it for the maiden flight. It flew great. The CG just, I think it's making it squirrely, so I'm going to kind of test it out on my own. We'll move that CG forward and kind of see what it does. But anyway, guys, real good. Let's get that battery out. I don't know how long we were flying for. I tell you what, hang on. Let me get the tester here. Let's put that thing on there. Let's see what kind of flight time we got. See what the batteries are doing here. Yeah, they're just barely even, kind of a little tiny bit warm. Let's see how this is looking. Let's plug that in. 25%, 3.7. So whenever we started the takeoff roll, guys, and came back in, that's about the flight time, and I kind of wrung it out a little. But very unstable pitch and roll wise, but I think that's just center of gravity. I don't think that's got anything to do with throws so much. I might dial those down a little bit, but you know, I put in what the book said. Let's see, that's 125, but you can see I moved that horn all the way in. I don't think it's throws so much. I think that's my low rate, and that's my high rate on aileron. Here, let's look at the elevator first. That's low rate, that's high, that's medium.
You didn't seem to have any control issues.
No, it was actually controlling it, but it was when you see that rocking like that and you get that instability in the pitch and you see it coming in like that, that's a CG issue. So I don't think, but we'll look at it, I don't think that 190 is where it ought to be. The other thing too is I got something tweaked. Look at my ailerons, and this happens sometimes with planes, guys. See the ailerons? See how much trim I had to put in? One's going up, one's going down. So something's making this plane kind of yaw or roll or something's, and it may just be the flaps. I may need to dial, in fact, I might need to dial one flap down and one up a bit, because these foam planes can be a little tweaked one way or another. So the ailerons will come neutral. Maybe the flaps are not quite where they ought to be, but I'll mess with that and we'll get it going again. But anyway, real nice, guys. We'll get you a more stable flight once we get the CG right, and we'll report on that. What do you think, Steve? Cool? Cool. We got to get it stable, though. We definitely got to get it stable. This happens sometimes when you get your plane out the first time. That's why you want to fly it on a not so windy day. But and we'll get that dialed in, and we'll talk to you about the CG and what it is. So anyway, guys, be looking for this. We'll bring this on to Seth and Joe Nall, which is coming up here real soon. You know, come on out and check it out. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Steve, for filming. Thanks, guys, for watching RC Informer. And as always, we will see you next time.